I expected that I will learn rock and metal music. I didn't expect to learn classical. Always aim higher in terms of the interpretation. And the main prize was a chicken, you know, like a living chicken.
Matthews, welcome to QWERTY Colibri program.
Hello, I'm honored. I'm very happy that I can talk to you. Hello, everyone listening, and I hope we'll have a nice conversation here.
Yeah, thank you, Matthews, for your time. Tell us, how did you start in the world of music, and who has inspired your journey in the guitar, please?
Yes, so primarily it was my brother and my cousin who played guitar too. My brother played classical guitar, but it was more a kind of accompaniment to singing, regular songs, famous Polish songs or even rock songs. My cousin, he was more into rock and metal music.
Oh, wow.
So, and the first stage of my guitar love, I was more into this kind of music. So when I asked my parents to sign me to the music school when I was 7, I expected that I will learn rock and metal music. I didn't expect to learn classical. It was a kind of a shock to me, but I followed the instructions of my teacher, and after some time I felt like this is really the world of music I would like to be in. Of course, it was not so quick. I needed a few years to really feel more comfortable in classical music in general, but finally, that's what I felt. But the beginnings were completely different, as I thought. Completely different genres, which I believe also has its pros, you know? It's like, I feel like I have certain advantages over people who didn't have the opportunity to be interested in more popular music.
Yes.
I think it's also very important.
Now, where do you study the classical guitar? What college, university? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was born in Koszalin in the north of Poland, by the sea, by the Baltic Sea, and there I studied. I was signed by my parents to the state music school, where I studied for 12 years, because it was primary and secondary school in one building, and I had one guitar teacher. His name was Dariusz Schmid, a great teacher. Later, I continued my studies in Warsaw, the capital of Poland, at the Frederick Chopin University of Music, in Ryszard Bałuszko class. I also studied in Darmstadt with Tilman Hopstock, and now I'm a professor at the Chopin University of Music in Warsaw. So I'm very happy about that. It was a little bit funny at the beginning to teach among my friends from the time of studying, but so that's how it looked like, the process of my education in general.
Yeah, it's good. And now, in the guitar there are so many styles. For you, what is your opinion? What is the most better styles for you?
That's a good question. To me, the biggest inspirations were usually other instrumentalists, like piano players or violin players. For example, Maxim Węgierow, violinist, or Artur Rubinstein, or big names. I always was inspired by the extremely high level of musicality they have. Of course, I have also my favorite guitarists, among which I would say about maybe Assad Duo or Tilman Hopstock, for example. But my style, if I had to depict it, I would say it's about trying to achieve what is achieved on the piano, on the violin, on other instruments, and trying to always aim higher in terms of the interpretation and achieve the lightness one can achieve on the piano, on both instruments, and the variety of articulations.
Another question, please. For example, when you have in the front the music sheets, what is the first step for reading? Maybe only notes in your mind, rhythmics, or what is your opinion?
Yeah. So in general, I have this ability of being able to sight read very quick. If it comes to memorizing music, that's something I have to actually train to work on. But sight reading, it's very easy to me. So typically, when I take the piece, I just play it, and it usually works if the piece is not too complicated, of course. And after I do it, I always try to imagine what was the intention of the composer, what the composer was thinking about, what instruments, or maybe he had in mind. Maybe he was thinking about an orchestra, or about singing voice, or what was when was the piece composed, at which point of life of the composer it was composed. So I try to gather as much information as possible, and plus use as much of my imagination as possible. So to, how can I put it in a more simple way? So I try to practice the piece in my mind, to imagine what I want to achieve, and then try to achieve that on the guitar, which I believe is the healthiest direction. Head, fingers, sound, and not the opposite.
I'm from Ecuador, but what do you think the South American music, for example, the most representative music in South America is the Brazilian music? For example, Héctor Villalobos, blah, blah, blah. What do you think the South American music?
About South American music, I love this music. It's just extremely natural for the guitar, for our instrument. About Héctor Villalobos, I love that. Even when he writes for classical guitar, even that you feel it fits perfectly well to the guitar. He understands the instrument. Of course, he played it too, but you feel that in his mind he has orchestra, and the music is so colorful. Even if you listen to his orchestral pieces, like this Amazon Suite, or pieces like that, you feel the nature, you feel the beauty of this continent, of this country, of Brazil. So of course, I love music by Sergio Assad, by Agustin Barrios Mangore, by many composers. The amount of different rhythms you have, for example, in South America, and different styles. It's so amazing, so impressive that you can write at least a dozen of doctoral thesis about these rhythms itself. So I always look with a big respect to all these countries.
Now, do you have your guitar with you?
Yes, I have it.
Yes, please. Now, for my next question is, invite you to discover some of techniques and the styles you use to enhance your guitar playing, please.
What techniques do I use to make the level of my technique higher? I know. Okay. Oh my God, there are so many. So many topics we could talk about, but maybe I would just say about a few things which comes to my mind as firstly. So first thing is that I always tried to reach a level of real independence of right-hand fingers, and of course left-hand fingers too, but especially when it comes about the order of the right-hand fingers. So I studied a lot of tarrega exercises, for example, which are focused on very awkward combinations, which then made it. Let me just tune the guitar. Which, for example, later made it much easier for me to play pieces like Second Study by Lobos. I don't know if it was hearable because of the microphone.
It's good. But
it actually all these exercises are trying to reach this independence of order of the right hand fingers, make it much easier for me to play arpeggios in a light way.
Okay.
Which are not too square. I always try to achieve. So even if the order is, I don't know, I, M, A, going down the strings, I still try to feel comfortable at that. So the effect is I don't need to think about the order of the fingers, because I can play in any order in this situation. So that was it in this case of this right hand finger independence. What else? I like to use a lot of cross strings, trills. Which I had to use, for example, in this concerto of Chopin, like piano trills, while using your left hand fingers for plug the strings also. Yeah, so we have the opportunity to have the accompaniment and a trillo in the melody. So left hand produces the sounds of the accompaniment, plucking the strings like that, and trillo I use is just a tremolo pattern, which I also find maybe not easier, but in my opinion it makes it possible to achieve higher speed and more lightness, because very often people play these trillos like third, first, second, thumb. I like to remain the tremolo pattern. So third, second, first, thumb. Okay. So that's it. And maybe the last which comes to my mind is playing with left hand only.
Wow.
Many years
it's only left hand.
Yes, I did this piece and many pieces with left hand only, and it make it much easier later to achieve lightness in quicker situations. So everything seems to sound a little bit easier, in my opinion. At least I hope it does. So this would be the 3 techniques I would pick. In independence of the right hand fingers, of the order of the fingering, which comes from Tarrega, right hand studies. Cross string trillos with extra accompaniment plucked by left hand only, and left hand only slurs, which gives extra strength and precision also to the left hand. So I think that's it. That's enough, because we can talk about it for a long time.
For you, Mateusz, what do you recommend for most better synchronization, the left and right hand, for the most fast? I don't know what.
Yes, this is a great question, because this is the biggest problem we face as a guitarist. Usually, is the source of most of the problems. So I do many exercises to fix that, but in general, I always aimed at making it possible for me to achieve a much quicker tempos. So everything which is average is much easier then. Okay, so maybe to be more precise by what I mean. Let's say when we think what's the quickest way of play one string, for example, it's the tremolo. So I like to use the tremolo pattern with the simple chromatic exercise. but accelerating the tempo to extreme quick levels, so I am able to do it like on the piano, because on the piano when we try to play, it's simple, it's not a problem, and I always wanted to achieve this effect on the guitar, so it's just about hitting the string, not pushing them, hitting them, but extremely lightly, maintaining all the fingers underneath on the string, and trying to find this right moment. There are plenty of exercises to achieve that. Once Zoran Dukic, one lesson, showed a great exercise to me for synchronization. Maybe I would tell about it extremely quick, in a very quick, condensed way, so everyone who is listening to us can then play it back again.
Okay.
So, of course, it again comes in many different ways, but the most basic one is using the order of right hand fingers. I, A, M, I. And we play a triplet coming to downbeat. So with this I, A, M, I fingering, and we start on the 5th fret, and we try to play the whole sequence I will play now without any kind of mistake. Even if it's a very light mistake, we should continue and play again. So that's the full sequence.
Wow.
So it's basically working on pairs of fingers, then on groups of 3 fingers in various combinations, and then 4 fingers. The aim is to make as small movements as possible, very close to the string, very close to the frets. And if we made a mistake, we go 1 fret down, and we try again. If we make mistake again, we go 1 fret down. So the objective of this game is to reach fret 9, but mostly for at least a couple of days or weeks. We at the beginning, most of the players, including me, stay at the 1st fret, because it's really not easy. So it forces you to really focus on extremely light and small movements, which are essential, in my opinion, to improving your synchronization.
Thank you for continuing on Cuerda y Colibri with our guest guitarist Mateusz Kowalski from Poland. And now I'd like you to share some interesting or funny stories you've experienced in your musical career, please.
This is a question again, which I could give many answers to. Funny and cool, nice stories happen all the time, because I give many concerts, especially in the last 2 years. So stories like that happen all the time. but the most bizarre thing which comes to my mind was one of the first concerts I gave when I was 14 or 15, and I remember it was a concert at the party, open air party, which took place in a very small village. It was organized by the local church, and it was a kind of just festival of people drinking beer, eating sausages, like grilled, and the stage was made in a but the stage was made in a semi-truck trailer. So I was sitting on the trailer, and I was I was asked to play before announcing the results of the competition for, I don't know, the most beautiful garden in the village or something like that. And the main prize was a chicken, like a living chicken. And the chicken was in a cage, which was in front of, it was actually a rooster. Sorry, it was a rooster. Yeah. Like a male chicken, and it was sitting in a cage in front of me, and I was playing. I think it was Contemplación by Barrios, by Augusto Barrios.
Augusto Barrios, yeah.
And I played this piece, and the rooster, it started to, to make its noise very loud.
The sound effects.
Exactly. So no one could focus on my playing. I couldn't focus. Yeah. The amplification was terrible. Everyone was just was drinking beer, having a nice time, and so it was the most strange concert situation I had in my life. So I think that's the best one.
Yeah. Maybe another is history. For example, the bad situation, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah. From that, the biggest shock in this more negative way was when I get an opportunity to fly to China to give concerts not in the biggest cities, but also in the, let's say, medium-sized ones, in a places which classical music was extremely not popular, not to mention the classical guitar music. So I remember when I'm asked to come to the stage, and the hall was very nice. It was professional music concert hall. And I come to the stage, and I see people smoking cigarettes, talking, and not really thinking about what's going on the stage. But I was asked to start to play, and I play, something, and then I hear the notes I have just played 10 seconds ago from the audience, because someone was recording and playing the recording to see if it's recorded correctly, and no one really cared, because that was just a different place, and people were not accustomed to the classical music concerts, so they felt like it's okay to do that. So it's not. I don't have any bad feelings. I don't blame them, but it was definitely a huge shock for me, because always, usually, apart from that thing with chicken and with playing on the truck, semi-truck trailer, we expect silence, and the classical music concert is almost like, like a mass in a church, in my opinion, because we treat this music as something saint. We have huge respect to that. So it was completely different situation there. But all the other concerts in China I had were much, much better, and I had only nice memories from also Shanghai, which was a huge, huge hall for more than 3,000 people.
And this moment, Matthews, please share those final tips that will enrich our guitar skills, please.
In general, of course, it depends at what level are you, dear listeners. But if you want to improve, of course, it's good to have this part of your practice time dedicated to improving your technique. But in general, knowing as many pieces as possible and having as big a repertoire as possible is, I think, something crucial, something extremely important to improve, because it really feels different to perform 15 or 20 minutes long concert in front of people if you can play only 20 minutes of the program, but it feels completely different if you can play 2 hours or 3 hours of music and you play just 20 minutes. It really changes the perspective completely. So that's something which changed my playing a lot, for sure, because I really started to feel a huge improvement when I enlarged the size of my repertoire. The other thing would be to, of course, listen to guitar players, to guitar music, which is incredible and extremely beautiful, but to also get inspired by other instrumentalists, other musicians, and to play with them, play with singers, with violinists, with woodwinds, I don't know, with any other instruments, because it also changes the perspective, and it just makes us better musicians. I would not also close myself to just one genre. I would recommend knowing at least a little bit of the characteristics of each genre, of each style, because very often pieces we play are inspired by those different genres. And maybe the last thing would be not to believe that if in the guitar score, when we look at it, if we don't see any articulation signs, any articulation marks, to not believe that it actually should be performed without articulation, because this is one of the biggest problems in the world of guitar, in my opinion, that since the 19th century, if we have the same piece written for piano, let's say, it's full of legato signs, of staccato, staccato, and we have the same piece, this arrangement for guitar, and no information at all about that. Only some legato signs, which are very often just a more technical situations, not in the same way like in piano. So that's why, in my opinion, it's so important to listen to these other instruments and try to achieve that on our instrument, to sing what we play, to improvise also, and not to forget to not only learn pieces, but to learn the fretboard, to learn the instrument, because that was the natural way of learning how to play in the past. Now it's a very important topic to me, because this last week I gave a couple of lectures in different places in Poland about how to know the fretboard better for classical musicians, for classical guitarists, because we very often can play extremely difficult pieces, which are very complicated musically, but many guitarists can just play simple chords in a couple of positions. So it should be not like that. It's like being extremely muscular in the upper body and very thin in legs, let's say. So So it's similar like that. So I would also suggest to try to work on each elements of the art of playing the guitar. Of course, which is more complex than just moving our fingers.
Yes, Matthew. Now, is possible? Can you play a little time?
Yeah. So I can play a little bit of that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Matthew. Now, explain you for the guitarist. What is your next project? What is now is in the future the new projects? Please.
So the nearest future will be mostly about the project which was premiered in September, and I'm talking about the recording of Chopin Piano Concerto if F minor in transcription for guitar. This is the first recording in the history made with real orchestra. The transcription was made by Jerzy König. I changed it a little bit, and I'm very proud of that project. It was also one of the most difficult things I've ever done. All the guitar concertos seem to be very easy compared to the Chopin concerto arrangement. And the nearest future will be mostly about that. In the beginning of December in San Francisco, I will give a official United States premiere of this CD, of this project. We will perform it with a string quartet for the Omni Foundation concert series, and in next year, of course, it's concerts all around the world, but one of the biggest projects which will be probably maybe finished, at least it will begin in 2025. It will be commissioning a new guitar concerto from Marek Pasieczny, great Polish composer, which music I love, respect, and I try to promote it as much as possible. So that's the second thing. And third thing would be continuing to promote the 19th century Polish music by great Polish masters, pupils of Giuliani and Sor. And I'm talking about Bobrowicz, Chorecki, Szczepanowski, Sokołowski, very difficult names, but they were extremely popular guitarists and composers in 19th century, equally popular like Giuliani or like Sor. They gave concerts in all the major cities all around Europe. So I also try to promote their art, their compositions, and my biggest aims for the future is to perform these compositions in Carnegie Hall and in Berlin Philharmonie Kameral Saal. Yeah, that's the dreams for next year or 2 years.
Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Where can people find you on the social networks or YouTube channel, please?
Yes. So, yes, I invite you all to check out all my social media channels. I'm happy I can use this interview to also promote that. I have my YouTube channel, which is just Mateusz Kowalski, classical guitarist, but also many of the videos I do are available on the Guitar Salon International or Zika's Guitars channel. So I also invite you to go and check them out there. I'm also on the Instagram, Mateusz Kowalski Guitarist. I have my website, which have all the upcoming concerts and all the information about the upcoming projects, CDs, and you can also get my CDs from the shop on this website, mateuszkowalskigitarist.com. So Spotify, all the streaming platforms, feel invited. I'll be more than happy if you take a minute to check out my interpretations.
Thank you very much, Matthews, for sharing your valued knowledge with us, and we look forward to seeing you in another occasion. Huh?
Thank you. Hopefully in Texas, in Dallas, maybe soon. Who knows?
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Thank you. Goodbye.